Welcome to a new day in Empyrion Galactic Survival Alpha 10.5, and what can I say? As usual, I'm on guard here against insects, and I suppose I better give a bit of an update where we were from the last part, because in the last part I went and did the Talon mission and I picked up quite a lot of resources, and what I did off camera was I went out and mined out all the iron and copper in this area, and I've brought them back to my portable constructors. I've got two now here. You can see what I've been doing is I've followed all your advice. I've been really pumping out the ores. In fact, I could probably add some more copper ore there, and I've got a big pile of promethium. In fact, I think I'm going to nick about 300 of that just in case. And I've got the biofuel. I'm not sure why I made biofuel, but never mind. And the other thing you can see here is I've also made another two portable constructors. In fact, I made two and I've got two, so I've now got 4 portable constructors. This is partly in preparation for going to another planet, but I'm leaving them in my inventory just a moment there. I've also made a core, because in this part what I want to do is put out the new SV, which is the Loot Lifter 300 by Crazy, and we're going to get that out straight away. I'm just going to press F3 up to here. Now what we do is grab here, we're just going to spawn it. All this is going to be life. Everything around here is a little bit crowded at the moment, and the problem is, where can I put it? It's on a little bit of a slope here, so it might, with my luck, it'll probably roll over and roll down the side of the hill. No, okay. We've now got our new SV. Now it's a pretty good ship. I'm going to say Crazy did a pretty good job on it, but I think Mike Nee left a comment about the fact that it can be a little bit overpowered with the thrusters. I think this is one of the problems when you build these heavy lifters, is that you put lots of thrusters on to carry the extra weight. But that can make them a little bit unstable when they're generally flying. But I think the best way to actually test this is to go out and do a simple mission. So we're not going to go up into space in this part. Also, I want to do a couple of things. Just I thought I had a spider then. To change the ship. Apologies to Crazy, but I think any of you guys follow my series, you'll be aware that I'm always doing things like this. And what I've done is I've made a couple of Gatling guns, some container extensions. We're going to take the ammo with us. I'll make some extra ammo. The first thing I'm going to do is put a couple of extra what we call it, Sonic Gatling guns. Sorry, brain faded a little bit there. And a tip for anyone who's new to the game: before you make modifications like this inside of the actual game, practice them in what we call it creative mode. Sorry. We've now got the 3 Gatling guns on there. Now, first thing you need to do is switch them off and back on again, and that gets them all back into sync. So we've now got 3 Gatling guns on there, and just to give you a bit of a tour around the back, we've got an open internal area here. A really nice layout here. We've got a armor locker here, which I want to put in. I'm going to drop that in there, because I just picked that up here. Now, the one thing that does make me a bit nervous is that we've only got a very small ammo container tucked in here, which has a potential issue. So what I'm actually going to do is make a change here. And what we're going to do is we're going to retrieve that there, and what we're going to do is take out these, and I think we'll just I think I worked this out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 across like that. In fact, I think I need to take out that block there and just drop that there. I mean, I could put a 5th one there, but I think that should be more than enough now for the ammo box. It says the ammo box is not in here now. It's down here amongst the container controller ammo. Sometimes when you mess about with things, you've got to readjust the groups. And just to show you now, we've got a capacity for 625 in here. I think originally this was 125, and you've only got about 1,000 rounds in here. What we're going to do is nick the ammunition from nightshade. So you can see we can now get several thousand rounds in here, which is also additional carry capacity. And just to give you a run through here, you can see down here we've got, oh well, we can add the guns as well. Let me just sort this out as well. Weapons. You've got a nice big bunch of groups here. It's like the O2 tanks have wandered off a little bit for some reason as well. I'm just going to add the O2 tanks to. It's all very nicely grouped up in like that. You can see here, so we've got here. Now you also see that the thrusters are actually split into two sections. We've got, where if I can find them, we've got, yeah, I can hear you. We've got thrusters up here. We've got another group of thrusters. And that is the fact we've got a performance option. We'll turn the spotlights off for the moment. We've got the constructors on here. Now this ship actually has got 3 constructors on it. And we're going to turn the flashing lights off simply because things that flash can give me migraines. Leave the thrusters off. In fact, what we can do is just do the fuel situation while we're at it. I think I've picked up a nice big chunk of fuel. Now, this has got quite a few fuel tanks on it. Just to show you, again, let's get back into here. I think we got 4 or 5 fuel tanks. We got, wow, we got 9 fuel tanks. Wow. So we got a lot of fuel tanks, and we got 5 generators. So this is a serious ship for shifting cargo. And I think if as long as I get it, it's now, you got to remember it says 4 constructors, but we actually got 3. And of course, a nice little feature here is that you can actually turn these constructors on and off manually like this as well, which is a nice little feature. I think this is, I can't remember what this one does. I think that turns the flashing lights on and off as well. Okay, so we've got the guns sorted. I've done the ammo. I don't think there's any other changes I actually need on here. I've actually got the thrusters running for the moment. I'm not too sure why we got the thrusters on. We'll turn the thrusters off for the moment. And I just want to, next thing I want to do is, because I want to save power in preparation and get to going out to another planet. So what we're going to do is, again, we're just going to loop lift there. And we got 4 fridges. Actually, let's just want to put that in there. And I'm going to put this in here. I'll give you some spares. This stuff can go into the portable constructor. I can hear you. Because we don't want to throw that away unless we have to. Right, the next thing I want to do is say we're going to get the fridge, and this is going to be a good opportunity for me to sort out my fridges. I think what we'll do here was we'll put the, well, we don't need that at the moment, so put the raw stuff in that one. I'll put the good stuff in that one, and then I'll put some plants and med kits in here. I mean, I don't want to take too much with me just at the moment. I mean, that will be something I will sort out off camera. I can hear. And what we're going to do is just take the spare fuel with us as well. It's a little bit heavy, but I'm always a little bit nervous about going places without enough fuel. So I'm going to put this in here, and I'll put that in there. That will help me sort things out a little bit. Which to, I think we'll just shove all that in there. Now, where's that insect? Who's making the noise? Okay. That means now I've emptied the fridges, I can power this ship down. Now, I'm not going to put any oxygen in because we're not going to go up into space in this part. I'm just going to power everything off there so we can save fuel. This is one reason why I like to keep all the food together with the ship that I'm using, because it means I don't have to consume fuel. Just want to check, make sure there's nothing else I need in here. We've got some more fuel cells here. I don't think I'm actually going to need it. I mean, the portable constructors are quite light. So I think we better jump in the ship and see how well it flies. And of course, we're going to have to put thrusters back on. Now, wow, that did take off very quickly. And we are still drifting upwards, okay. Well, we're in full performance mode as well at the moment, so we need to turn these off. So there goes here. And of course, one thing I need to do first is we're going to have to press the Alt key, use the center mouse button to, because every time you get a new ship, especially a ship that's got a different characteristic, say you change from hover vehicle to SV to capital vessel, or you get a ship like this that's got an internal cabin and a cockpit, sometimes you do need to adjust this. So press the Alt to lock it in, and if you use the page up, page down to get it into the right type of height. And I think we're just going to have a little bit of a fly around and just to get a feel for. A little bit worried about the fact that it seems to be dropping down at the nose, but I'll do that. Of course, what we're going to have to do is find something to shoot, because I want to test the weapons out. Actually, I think there's a spider nest around here somewhere. Is it over there? I mean, we could go and say hello to the local spider population. I mean, there won't be much in the spider nests, but when they're really more for when you're first starting out. But of course, what we can be is really cheeky. Actually, I can't see any spiders. Actually, have I killed them all? Okay, we're just gonna. Okay, they don't. That's a bit of a disappointment. Never mind. And what you can do is you can get some resources around here and grab that. Of course, the more importantly, what you can do is just going to stand on top here, and I'm just going to grab the drill and go F5. Because there's often loot boxes and stuff underneath here. It's just a question of finding them. When it does vary between the different spider nests, so there we are. Some barrels buried here. It looks like we've only got the one barrel here. Make it a little bit bigger. Just in case there's something else around. Okay. Back to the shotgun. And let's go in here and see what we can find. Well, we got some spiky mushroom and some more fire moss scrapings. As I say, you don't really get a vast amount from these, but it's fun to take them out. Just that we don't seem to have any spiders around here for the moment. We might jump in here and take off. Yeah, the ship is a little bit flighty. And of course what we're going to need to do is just shove this into bridge 1. This is all, wow. These are all raw materials. And I'm going to put that in there because you see here, this is minus 50 food. But it does give you a massive health boost. In fact, I'm going to classify that under medication. So in some ways, the spiky mushroom is, how can you say, a health boost as a last resort. Is probably the best way to describe it. So now, the next thing I want to do in this part is, it's partly based on a request from somebody in the comments who asked me about how you can take down this unknown artifact. So that's what we're going to do in this part, and this will be a very good test for this ship for 2 reasons. 1, for maneuverability, and 2, for carry capacity, and more importantly the load balance, because I know that there's going to be some good loot inside this unknown artifact, and also that some of it can be a little bit heavy. But what I do want to do is just try out the guns. Actually, we need some food as well, so let's just pop some more steaks. Nope, wrong one. So we've got to learn the new setup. Let's just double down with this. Actually, let's go. That should get me enough. And I'm going to load the guns. What we need is a little bit of a soft target, or something that's a bit big that I can aim at while we're actually flying here. So something like a pangolin or a big dinosaur, something like that. There's one there. Okay. What I want to do is just test the put down capability on the guns. Yeah, I mean, this is something you do need to do, because you can see the guns converge, and having the center mounted Gatling gun does make a little bit of a difference. And of course, we're not going to waste what we've done. I'm just going to go down and grab that, some steak and eggs. Just going to get back this way, and we're just going to drop this into the raw food section, and I think we can now start seriously making our way west to get to the unknown artifact. I mean, there's nothing else in between. And oh, the other thing I also did off camera, as I say, I think I might have already mentioned this, is I mined out both all the iron and copper in this area. Now I'm accepting that I probably won't be able to take it all with me, but what I may have to do is a bit of a shuttle distance. But I do have a strategy for going forward, and I might as well talk about this while we're actually flying this way. Now, the normal way of playing this game is that you would build a base, build a hover vehicle, SV, then a progression, and then you would build a capital vessel. What I want to do in this series, because in the previous series there was a lot of emphasis on base building, what I want to do in this series is effectively jump forward from the SV to a capital vessel, and I've got an idea on how to do that, so that effectively I'm going to be a mobile raider. In fact, what you could probably say is that any of you watch the Star Trek series, we're going to be a bit like the Borg, maybe just go along and take what we want, explore, and if you don't like it, you will be assimilated. It's probably the best way to do it. I'm just going to get rid of press. Oops, no, press that. What I've done is got rid of the tag. Now, for any of you who are not familiar with this unknown artifact, it consists of 3 floors. You've got a landing floor here, which as soon as you get close will often spawn scorpions, I think. And above that you've got another floor which is, whoops, yeah, it is a bit flighty, which is roughly about here, which has got 3 mid-range loot boxes on it. And then at the top level here you've got 2 premium loot boxes. Now I will show you the way you can do this the proper way, which is, it can be a bit of a challenge, not so much for the creatures, it's the fact that you've got to make some interesting maneuvers and jumps, which through elevators, which can be a little bit tricky, but there is a sneaky way of doing this, and I know some of you may not appreciate this. That is that the core is actually located, if you see the triangle, dark triangle coming down, the core is located in this section here. Now it's not exactly in the center, so depending on which way you approach this means that there can be a difference in where the core is. So what you've got to do is just blow out the blocks down here, and if you're lucky like that, you can just see the core there. Now, so that now effectively gives me control of the base, and if I get in nice and close, whoops, a bit too close, and I think I've got a core, because what I want to do is actually core this, because I wouldn't mind getting the fuel out of it. And if you're going to do this, make sure you don't push yourself off the ship. You can see you've got the fuel tank just above. This is why you've got to be a bit careful if you want to take the fuel out, because if you get a bit too enthusiastic, you can actually destroy the fuel tank. I think so. Get approaching with third person. Now, what I'll do is I'll give you a bit of a tour of what you've got to do if you don't come in and just take the core out like that. And just, oops. Yeah, let's see what Mike Lee says. I think he said that he went back to normal thrusters, and maybe the jet engines are a bit too powerful for the ship, but we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to jump out here, go to first person. Bit of a jump, but we're okay. And you can see, because I've got control of the base, we don't get any hostiles coming in on this floor. In fact, how much fuel has this ship got? Hopefully this won't fall out the sky if I nick all the fuel. Well, we got a little bit of fuel. There's 1% left. Now, if you're actually attacking this is where you've got to come up through here, this floor here. What you see is you've got these lift things here, and what you've actually got to do is jump up through here. Then you come up onto this floor. And if I hadn't taken the base over here, you'd be greeted by more scorpions. And then you can see the 3 loot boxes here. Now this is the interesting bit. This is that you've got this another elevator up to the next floor, and I think I can spawn. So if I can get in here, you can see if I come up through here, and you can see the 2 premium loot boxes at the top here. And so that's what you actually need to do. The fun bit is actually getting up here, especially if you've got heavy armor on. So if I say I salvage this block here, because I mean, what you've got to do is get into here, and because I've got heavy armor on, I don't really have the boost. Ready to do this, you need light or medium armor. And what you've actually got to do is get in here. You can see how tricky it is. When you think up there are hostiles, life can get very interesting. Anyway, let's get down to the sheer business of things. Well, we're certainly going to take all that. We've got a projectile pistol, tier 2, assault rifle, some magnesium, force fields. Yep. That's pretty good. I'm kind of half wanting and half there it is. That's what was worrying me, is getting a furnace. Well, we'll take the tier 2 shotgun, definitely, and the shotgun upgrade. I want the auto mining cores as well. I'm a little bit worried about that. I think we're going to leave the furnace there, because that would certainly weigh down the ship a lot. And we've got another furnace as well. Sathium, we've got a detox kit, we've got some health packs, and we got another tier 2 shotgun. That's good. We've got 2 furnaces here. I mean, it'd be really great to pick those up, but you can see they're 120 tons each, so there's probably no way that I'm going to be able to carry those away. So we may have to come back once we got even more heavier lift capacity. And what I'm going to just show you now is if we get into here and whoops, put away, level off, and we're just going to get in here, and what I'm going to do is just get, what I want to do is find the premium loot containers. Level off, please. But at the same time, what I don't want to do is destroy them. So what we're going to have to do, which is another advantage of doing it this way. Again, I'm just going to, and I think we're just going to, I think if we hook to, go to the second container controller. Oops. Just going to hook in here. We're in here. What I'm actually, oops, I don't know what's going on today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out this area here. It means I can fly the ship round, and well, we'll get rid of this bit as well. So we'll loot that off the top. And what I'm doing is quite literally just opening these areas up so that I can get in with the ship and basically check these out without actually having to destroy them. I'm just going to see, I wasn't that far out with the guess. So I'm just going to, because I mean, if there's any really heavyweight stuff like 100 blocks or something stupid like that in here, yeah, I think that's good enough. Just drop in here, and we're just going to fly sideways down a little bit of a smidge. It's coming again a little bit far away. Oops. Okay, so let's go to first person, level off down a bit, and maybe we can just crash almost completely into the ship. Where are you? Nearly fell off the top then. I think what we're going to have to do is get rid of this tower bit here. So we're just going to... So I'm just going to... strip all this away. Feeling a little bit, I think it's because the ship's a little bit lopsided. Right, what we should be able to do now is get in really close. Yeah. And I would take the fusion core. And this is what I was saying about the combat blocks. Yeah, so we've now filled this up. Probably a bit too much, really. I mean, it's great to have these combat steel blocks, actually. I think what I'm actually going to do is... Now, I do have a project for the blueprints, but I'm not going to give it away here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these combat steel blocks into here for the moment. I think we're going to drop them all in just to get the Sathium. That's going to give me 463. So, in fact, I will show it to you guys. Now, my ship that I'm going to use once we get to the other planet to get a basic capital vessel is the Toaster CV. Now, the original Toaster is... Where is it? It's in here somewhere. There it is. Toaster CV. This is the original. And when I saw this, this is a very old ship, by the way. It's been around since 2016, so it's 3 years old. And I can't remember who it's actually made by now. Oh, it's by someone called Otomoto. And now this is probably about one of the most basic CVs you can get in the workshop. But as I said, it's a little bit out of date. So what I actually did is I loaded it into creative mode, and I kind of gave it a little bit of a makeover to, as you can see, to 10.5. And effectively all I've done is added container carriers to it, and I just like the quirky look of it. If I go back to here, you can see it here. It does actually look like a toaster, but the saving grace with it is the fact that it has all the basics of a capital vessel. So the idea is I'm going to go to the planet. We're going to basically complete the factory. So you've got a little bit of work to do. We've got to get some neodymium. And well, we're nearly there with the Sathium already. Wow, that's pretty cool. And of course we need more cobalt, silicon, and then, but the neodymium is going to be the real problem. And then what we're going to do is res that. That will act as a very simple mobile base, and then I will then develop that theme. And of course, eventually we will end up with a really big mobile base capital vessel. But the advantage is this has got an advanced constructor in it. So by resing this, and it's also got a warp drive in it a lot, believe it or not, as well, which is, I think, is why it's got so much neodymium. But it will give me the flexibility to do what I want. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling on here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pick up the rest of these blocks here. Actually, what's the weight? I think if I split the difference, and we're just gonna come back to here. So yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of fun with the. Yeah, so we've now got all the safing we need. That's a nice big win. And I'm just gonna jump back into the ship, and we're gonna go there. And of course, we're gonna have to go round the other side now to get into this one here. I think we could probably just nose in here. And oops. And he fell off the top. Right, we got some heavy armor. I'm certainly going to take. I think what we're going to do is just change to. Oh, we're on this container controller. Okay, some more auto mining cores. That's fantastic. Though truthfully, I don't really need them in this playthrough because the auto miner core, and we've got a medical station. So it's not as brilliant as I got, but the second set of heavy armor would be quite useful. We've actually managed to be able to loot the whole of this area here. So I'm just going to pull it away again. And we're not even completely overloaded, which is pretty useful, but there's no way I can carry those bonuses, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to pop a couple more stakes. And of course, one of the things I can do is if we come in here and go to devices, we've got 2 mobile constructors. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to food constructor. Like that. And I'll access that. And what we're going to do is we're going to hook you to fridge 1 and you to fridge. That's the fridge 1. That means I've now got a constructor where I can actually just knock out food from, which is going to be, it's going to make life a little bit easier. So I'm just going to turn that on so we can knock out some more steaks. And I was going to do something else, but I've just realized that I've got no idea whatsoever how long this video actually is going to be, because I forgot to make a record of when I actually started making the recording. So maybe what I'm going to do is, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. In off camera, what I will do is kind of gather up the resources, do a bit more testing on the loading on this ship, make some more fuel cells, and effectively prepare the ship for us to go up into space. And what was it we needed? Was it neodymium, wasn't it? So let's just have a quick look. So it looks like we may be off to Satora first and go and play in the snow, and that might be our first trip there. It looks like there's a moon there as well, so we'll be going there to get some neodymium, because our next objective is to go to another planet, do a bit of exploration, and of course get the toaster up and running. So what I'm going to say, so until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.